Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just going to wait a few more minutes to see if we have some late arrivals, and then we'll get started. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Thank you for joining us for this informational Interzoo webinar. My name is Andrea Leboy, and I am a project manager with Kallman Worldwide. While this year marks our debut at Interzoo, Kallman is a long-standing pillar of the international trade show community, having organized USA Partnership Pavilions around the world for more than 60 years. We have a strong presence in the industries of aerospace, healthcare, and agriculture, and we're really excited to bring that experience to the global pet industry. As an owner of two very energetic and lovable Appenzellers, I am personally thrilled to be a part of this project and look forward to helping make this a wonderful show for everyone involved. For those who are interested in Interzoo but have not yet signed up, today we'll cover some key show details and market intelligence to help inform your decision. For those of you who have already signed on to exhibit, we will be reviewing some key information on the pavilion, how you will work with our team, and share helpful tips from our shipping partners. If any of our exhibitors are first-timers for Interzoo, if you can give a thumbs up or raise your hand, it would be great to see who's a first-time exhibitor joining us. Our program today will first turn to Rowena Arts, Head of Exhibitions for Interzoo. She will be followed by some other members of the Kallman team to give an overview of our pavilion, get into some of the operational details regarding stand builds, graphics, and deadlines, and as well as an overview of our forum program. We will then turn things over to our shipping partner, TWI, and the official customs agents of the show, Schenker, to review best practices for shipping, and we will close with Q&A. Feel free to post questions in the Q&A section of this meeting, as it will be monitored throughout the presentation. For anyone joining us through a web version of Teams, you will likely not see Q&A in your window, but you can pose your questions in the chat as well. And a couple of other webinar rules, just make sure that everyone's mics are on mute. You can, again, type questions into the chat box. And also, please note, we are recording this webinar, and it will be distributed after the event to everyone. With that said, I would now like to introduce Rowena Arts, Head of Exhibitions at Interzoo, to take us through some crucial details regarding the overall show.
Thank you, Andrea, and a warm welcome also from Germany here to all of you. I'm very happy to meet you. I just also put my QR code on LinkedIn there, so if you want to connect, please feel free to do. Interzoo is the world's leading show for pet supply, so you made a very good decision to join this webinar and to join the show. Just to give you some figures from the last edition in 2024, we had about 2,150 exhibitors from 68 countries and 37 trade show visitors from 140 countries. Out of those, 91% were decision makers, and we covered 14 exhibition halls and had a dedicated area for startups and several stages, for example, the Fresh Idea stage. In the upcoming Interzoo, we will be even larger. On the next slide, you can see the overall venue. We are covering with Interzoo 2026 15 exhibition halls. The US Partnership Pavilion will be in hall number 7. Interzoo will use 3 entrances. And you have the entrance Mitte and the entrance East, which are very well located in connection to hall number 7. And entrance Mitte is also the entrance where the public transport arrives. Just on a side note, your ticket to Interzoo will include also public transport to make it easy for you. We have also 3 separate product showcase areas. There's one in the entrance Mitte, that's the highlight area, and we have 2 new product showcases. One is dedicated to healthcare, and the other one is dedicated to products having a sustainable impact. We will offer at Interzoo a very strong supporting program touching on the most topical issues of the pet industry. And we have a very, very good app, which I really recommend you to download. It is in the app stores available in the Google App Stores or also on Apple. And it allows you to connect with all the visitors, so you can even scan the badges and use this as a lead management tool, and also the visitors can find you in advance and schedule appointments. So I really recommend to download this app and make use of it. There are more services, also some free of charge, others you can book in order to really expand your reach also in the digital. And we are happy also to provide you more information on this. The app is already online, so I really recommend to experiment with the app just far in advance of the show. So on the next slide, we can also see some of the highlights in the supporting program. We are very proud of our cooperation with with the Pet Food Forum Europe. This is taking place for the 3rd time, one day before the show. So if you are in the pet food area, I highly recommend you to participate in this forum. We put the QR code there to sign up. And of course, we have the show dates on from 12th to 15th of May. Furthermore, on the 11th, there's taking place more. We can see on the next slide that for the very first time, we will organize a sustainability conference. We are very happy to have Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations there as a keynote speaker, and to have the first ever Interzoo Sustainability Award, where the finalists will pitch for that program, also on the 11th of May. So if your product is touching on sustainability, or you are interested in that subject and you want to connect worldwide, so we also recommend to sign up for that conference. That's not the only one. Also, we know that dogs are super important, and therefore also grooming is super important. And we have for the first time, we are organizing International Groomers Day at Interzoo for the international groomers community, which also will offer those of you who are active in that section to expand their reach if you want to participate in that. And that's taking place on the 14th of May. That's the Thursday. Actually, I just mentioned before the 3 product showcases. We can see those topics again on the next slide. We know that we have 3 product showcases. The one is on the highlight product showcases, where you could put your innovation or your best seller. So that's up to you. It's your personal highlight. We have the product showcase on sustainability. So it is a very nice combination, the conference, and then also showcasing your product there. And then last but not least, we do have a specific product showcase dedicated to products having a healthcare impact, as we see that this is also one of the trend topics. Let me now come to the next part of the presentation and leave Interzoo, but give you more an insight on actually what's happening in Europe and what are the mega trends there. So if we take a look at Europe, Europe is the 2nd largest pet market worldwide. The largest is the US. We have approximately 480 pet food plants in Europe and about 375 pet food companies producing pet food there. Those have 283,000 direct employees, and if you count the indirect employees, it's 2.3 million indirect employees. And if we take a look at the pets itself, WWF has issued a report that counts 139 million pets. We can see this on the next slide with the different categories, and you can see that cats are leading the market in Europe with 108 million cats, followed by 90 million dogs, ornamental birds, small mammals, aquaria, and terraria. So that we have the total pet population, which is distributed in 49% of the households. So pet is a super important topic in Europe. And we can see that 25% of the households own or have at least one dog, and 26% of the households take care at least of one cat. This leads to the next slide, where you can see how the pet population is distributed by country. So we can see that Germany is leading if it comes to the numbers of pets, followed by Italy and France, and then the United Kingdom. And we will see later also the spendings of for the different households. But first of all, I would like to show you an overview on the European market on the next slide, where we have the worldwide spendings, and we can see that the North American market is leading, followed by Western Europe and then Eastern Europe. We can see a growth of in 2023 by 6%, and there was a forecast for 2024 by 4.7%, which was also reached, and the numbers stayed similar also for last year. If it comes then to the spending all in all, it's 49 billion euros in Europe, which is spent on pets. And we could see here that although Germany is leading in the numbers of pets, it's the UK which is leading in the numbers of spending with 7.3 billion, followed by Germany and France and then Italy. The very good thing is that you can meet all these markets at Interzoo. So coming to Interzoo means not only doing business with the German market, it is really a global market with visitors from 140 countries. So it offers you a lot, and you can access all those growth markets at Interzoo. Again, taking a look at what are the product trends. If we turn to the next slide, we can see that the trends are very similar also to the US market. Also, trend number one is the humanization of pets. Pets are really a member of the family and are considered really as an integral part. Linked to this, we can see a premiumization of pet products. The topic of healthcare plays a major important, and also sustainability is ranking high. And more we can see tech and AI elements in the products, or at least also influencing the product development. So these are the 5 major trends for Europe. If we turn then from the product to the distribution trends, we can see that Europe is offering everything. So it's omni-channel. We have everything from B2B, also to we have D2C. There's online versus brick and mortar. We see specialized store, but we also see general stores. We see an increase of pet products in supermarkets. So you might also come across Carrefour and other supermarket chains at Interzoo looking for products. And what we also can see that we have more and more surprise boxes. So we have companies offering you to put your product into such a surprise box in order to test the market. Often those surprise boxes are subscription modules. If we take another look at the distribution trends on the second slide dedicated to distribution trends, we see that we have more and more subscription modules for pet food and other pet-related products. We see that some of the online retailers are now starting to open up brick-and-mortar stores. One of those, for example, is Zoo Royale. We see also a further concentration in the retail. If we take a look, for example, at two large players, Fressnapf and Arca Planet. So we also see that there's more and more private equity entering the pet market, and we can increase the list of mergers and acquisitions. What we also can see is the enhancement of loyalty programs. Often, of course, there are dedicated apps for those loyalty programs, and we can see an increasing range of services offered by the retailers, groomers, vets, and etc. We can also see new players in the markets, and I think this is, if I would give you a hint, is really be open to ask yourself the question where your customers are normally buying pet products. What we could see is that we have now more and more furniture stores offering pet products, or we see airline shops and airport stores offering pet products, and as well the luxury department. The screenshot shows the Lufthansa World Shop, which is offering more than 50 pet products. That seems to be also a new trend. On the luxury segment, there was last year an outstanding example in Paris. This was on the next slide. We can see some pictures from Le Bon Marché Rive Gauche. They dedicated 3 floors of luxury products for pets to a high-end shopping community with outstanding trademarks, and the most expensive object there was a table decoration for 54,000 euros. That was a piece of art but dedicated to the love of pets. The pet population, and that we can see on the next slide, in Germany is a bit different than the one in the US. In Germany also the cat community is leading with 50.9 million cats, and we can see also here it's similar like in the European area that 25% of the households have a cat. All in all, also in Germany, 46% of all households have pets, and if it comes to households with kids, it's even 66% of the households have a pet. And if we take a look at the shopping behavior of the persons on the next slide, do they buy online, do they buy brick and mortar, or do they buy both? We have in Germany 32% who buy in stores only, 60% buy online and in brick and mortar, so they use the different channels, no matter whether it's pet food or pet accessories. And we can see that there's a small segment of online only. For pet food, it's 8%, and for pet accessory, it's 11% of the customers buying online only. This was just a very short or a very short overview of the European market and some German figures. There's much more to learn on it, but I hope it shows you already that there are a lot of business opportunities. On the next slide, we have just put together the logos of some institutions where you can get more information on the market, but of course, the most information on the European and worldwide market you get at Interzoo. So I look very much forward to meet you next year, this year in May at Interzoo. So see you all there. And if there are any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Thank you, and I hand over back to Andrea.
Thank you so much, Rowena. That was really useful information. Next up, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Mike Petrossi, Vice President of Sales at Kallman Worldwide, to give an overview of our USA Partnership Pavilion.
Thank you, Andrea. And thank you to Rowena for that really informative presentation. I'm excited to see that there's going to be some new highlights and new programmatic aspects to the show this year. It's really going to turn out to be a great event. So hi, everyone. I'm Mike Petrossi, Vice President of Sales at Kallman Worldwide. And Kallman Worldwide is your U.S. representative, as well as your USA Partnership Pavilion organizer for the 2026 edition of Interzoo. As you can see here, we are celebrating 63 years of being an organization and advocating for global trade and supporting U.S. industry. And we're excited to bring those 63 years of experience to Interzoo. You know, our organization has been involved in about 12 industry sectors, from aerospace, defense, mining, energy, you name it. And this is our introduction to the pet industry. And we're super excited to be not only working in a fun-loving industry, but also an industry that's growing tremendously from a global standpoint. And U.S. industry is definitely going to be able to reap the benefits of the programmatic aspect that our organization, our 63 years of experience, is going to bring to Interzoo this year. Next slide, please. So this is just sort of a recap of what happened at the previous edition in 2024. You can see just over 2,000 exhibitors, 15 country pavilions, 68 exhibiting countries. The U.S. pavilion previously had 52 exhibitors and about 37,000 visitors. The visitation from a global perspective is absolutely outstanding. I want to say, Rowena said around 91% previously are decision makers, and we're expecting over 140,000, over 140 countries visiting the show. So just to give you how much of a global reach that is for U.S. industry. Of course, right here in our backyard, it's the largest pet market in the world, but Interzoo, sort of being the center of the world, really, really does a great job at attracting such a global reach of decision makers. Next slide, please. So this is, as Rowena showed earlier, the U.S. Pavilion is located on the west portion, lower left portion of Hall 7. It's really, really a great location. It's been there previously for many editions. So the impact, the global community knows where to find us. But again, we're bringing a whole new program this year. So centrally located, you'll see our U.S. Pavilion meeting point. This is sort of designed as like an exhibitor's lounge, modeled after your standard airport lounge. So we'll have food in there all week for our exhibitors and their guests. We'll have soft drinks. We'll definitely host some networking receptions, etc. But it's also a meeting point because it's a place where we're going to invite decision makers, retailers, buyers to come and actually tour the U.S. Pavilion. That's one of the things that we like to do. We like to introduce our clients to as many buyers as we possibly can, or distributors or partners. And what we'll do is we'll tour them around based on the different capabilities or products that they're looking for. Also within that area, we're planning on having a private meeting space, a conference room. That's a closed door area where our exhibitors, you know, should you need to have that closed door private setting, you can reserve that, you know, and that's all included as an amenity and an added service of being part of the pavilion. That lounge will have plenty of tables and chairs should you need to escape from the booth, or if things get tight or you have double, you know, two meetings at the same time, feel free to come over and grab a table at any point throughout the duration of the week. Just south of the U.S. Pavilion meeting point, we are going to have a forum. So this is a dedicated speakers corner within the U.S. Pavilion. And Andrea is going to talk a little bit more about the forum later on in the presentation, but it's there for our exhibitors to, you know, have access if we're presenting on new technologies, or maybe to be a part of a certain panel. where you're a subject matter expert, and you can provide that to the U.S. Pavilion exhibitors as well as the visitors who are coming to the show. Because again, the goal here by having this forum centrally located in the U.S. Pavilion is to bring quality content to our exhibitors, but as well as the visitors in the show, and draw the right decision makers into the U.S. Pavilion. Next slide, please. So I know there's a few companies on this call that have yet to make a decision on Interzoo. There's a handful of ways that you can participate with us. One being our turnkey stand design. So, if you're used to exhibiting in the U.S., you're used to pipe and drape. That does not exist overseas. Okay, so it's more or less a shell scheme. It's hard wall construction, and our turnkey design comes fully furnished. So table and chairs, lockable reception counter, backlit header, company identification on pylons, carpeting, daily stand cleaning, electric, you name it. The only thing that we're missing really is some shelving or pegboard, slat walls for your product, and then of course graphics. Exhibitors tend to bring their own, but you can also order them through our operations department, who you'll hear from shortly. Another option is if you have a stand already in Europe, or you're looking to build your own custom exhibit, you can purchase raw space. In the U.S. Pavilion, we do have a minimum requirement for raw space, which starts at 24 square meters. Custom build, we have an in-house creative services team who actually builds beautiful custom exhibits. We'll be building a number of them at Interzoo, and we'd love the opportunity to present you with a design and a quotation for that. Even if you're a turnkey client already in our U.S. Pavilion, but you're looking to upgrade some of the elements and go a little bit more custom, feel free to reach out to myself, and I'll introduce you to the right team members on the possibilities. And then last but not least, partnership opportunities within the U.S. Pavilion. I mentioned the forum, I mentioned the meeting point, networking receptions, branding, enhanced branding opportunities. There's a number of ways for you to stand out from the crowd and enhance your overall participation through sponsorship and partnership opportunities. So again, don't hesitate to reach out. That's going to conclude my portion of the presentation. And at this time, I'm happy to introduce our operations team, Allison Voth, who's going to go over a little bit more about your stand, and some of the upcoming deadlines. Over to you, Allison.
Sorry, everyone. Good morning. I'm Allison alongside Sharon and Erica. We are your operations specialists and exhibitor services team for Interzoo 2026. We'll be supporting you with the operational side of your booth, from pre-show planning through on-site execution. Before the show, we'll guide you on timelines, requirements, and booth enhancements based on your booth type through the USA Partnership Pavilion exhibitor portal and communications. On site, our team will be present throughout the build-up and the show to support booth builds, answer operational questions, and assist the vendors or builder coordination. Pavilion exhibitors will also have access to a designated meeting point with light refreshments and food and beverage and all of that. Next. The USA Partnership Pavilion Exhibitor Portal, which is listed here, will be your main planning resource for the pavilion specifically. Content is tailored by booth type, so please keep that in mind. This also includes the USA Partnership Pavilion deadlines, required forms, shipping and freight information, contacts, and reference materials. Turnkey exhibitors will also see booth services and graphic guidance, while space-only exhibitors will see stand build and technical submission forms. The show organizer will also provide a separate portal for badge registration, exhibitor directory details, parking, and more once your company is fully registered. Next slide. For turnkey exhibitors, the rendering shown reflects the turnkey rendering that is also going to include the following with every 9 square meters of space. It'll include 1 lockable counter, 1 table, 4 chairs, 1 literature rack, 1 trash bin, 1 electrical outlet, and then 2 spotlights and daily cleaning. All exhibitor booth layouts and graphic dimensions will be provided next week from Erica Egan. Next. This slide highlights build-up and dismantle times, which are also located in the exhibitor handbook that can be found within the USA Partnership Pavilion exhibitor portal on the right-hand side. That is where you'll find a lot of the reference materials. Please note that dismantling may not begin before 4 p.m. when the show closes. Both portals and our contact details are linked here. You'll hear from us within a week or so with information on how to gain access and your next steps to ensuring that everything is set. With that, I'll hand it over to Andrea.
Thanks, Allison. As Mike mentioned, another crucial benefit of our USA Partnership Pavilion at Interzoo is our forum. Kallman has a longstanding track record of producing a dedicated thought leadership presentation stage, offering educational programming, showcasing industry trends and market intelligence, and we are excited to bring this program to Interzoo. We are actively working with APPA, Penn Industry Network, and other market leaders to build a robust schedule of presentations. We will also be hosting the official U.S. market briefing for Interzoo. While our final space for Interzoo has yet to be finalized, our final program has yet to be finalized. We've included here some samples, and of the forms we've produced. You can take a look at them there. In addition to partnering with industry associations and thought leaders, we offer our exhibitors the opportunity to utilize the forum as well for presentations, and we'll be reaching out on that shortly. Outside of the forum program, we are also planning 2 on-site events. The first will be an opening ceremony to officially open the USA Partnership Pavilion for business. The second is a networking reception to take place in our meeting point on the second day of the show. We will be sending out invitations with details as we get closer, so keep an eye out on our communications. And in addition to our events, Interzoo will also be hosting a show-wide event on Thursday, so keep your schedules open for that. Now, I would like to introduce our partners from TWI to give an overview on shipping best practices.
Did I go too fast?
No, you're good.
Hey, Tyler, please unmute.
Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay. All right, good. Hi, everybody. My name is Tyler Hunt. I am the sales manager at TWI. Andrea Lawson is also on this call. She is our operations manager. Stephanie Scaduto is the operations rep on the show. And Aaliyah Anderson will be the lead sales rep. TWI and called 50 years to the 1970s. Working together in many different industries. And we're looking forward to partnering on Interzoo 2026. TWI is the North American freight forwarder, and DSV Schenker is the on-site handling agent for the show. The TWI air freight cutoff for pet food products is April 7th. We can collect general cargo the following week, though. Now I want to talk about the packing. Pet food must be packed separately than the other goods. Pet food must be sent as its own shipment, not to contain other food materials. So, for example, if you have a display banner along with pet food, they'll need to be packed and shipped separately. We don't want the pet food product to possibly delay your other goods you're intending on shipping. Boxes containing pet food must have the health certificate numbering on the outside label of the package. All packaging must be clearly labeled prior to the arrival at the TWI warehouse. We're going to talk about the documentation. Pet food shipments will require a health certificate and an ingredient list. All shipments will require a detailed commercial invoice list that must include a full inventory of what is packed inside each piece. For any questions regarding importation of pet food products beyond what I just referenced, I'll defer to DSV Schenker to answer those types of questions. TWI will have an on-site rep at the show to ensure a smooth process for Andrea Lawson will be answering any TWI-related questions from the exhibitors in the Q&A. This is what I got. Now over to Klaus with DSV Schenker.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Klaus Hölzer, representing Schenker, the official on-site logistics contractor at the venue in Nuremberg. Next slide, please. I would like to mention that we have created a so-called checklist, which is available upon request through Kallman Worldwide. It's very specific, very detailed, and you can have this. I think it's going to be a supporting information for you when preparing your shipments out of the US to Germany. And this probably will be a good link then that you can get. Next slide, please. I just want to highlight some important information when intending to send pet food from the US into Germany for Interzoo 2026. There are two possible ways to import pet food to the show. The first one is to go for a so-called regular importation with the intention to give away samples of your products. And of course, there are certain requirements that need to be fulfilled, that the country of shipping is listed in traces, that your company is listed in traces, that you have correctly issued veterinary health certificates, and that the shipment must be registered via Traces NT. As Tyler mentioned before from TWI, packaging is also very a concern. It must be packed, pet food must be packed separately from other products, and documentation is a key element in the total shipping. So I talked about regular importation. You can also do a so-called temporary importation to display your pet food. For example, if you are not listed or if your product are not listed in traces, it's very important to know that you, when doing a temporary importation, that your products are for display purposes only and cannot be given away. This is very important to bear in mind. Either way, documentation is the key element for customs clearance in order to avoid any difficulties or problems here in Germany with the customs authorities, and especially the combined invoice packing list and ingredient lists or health certificates must be very accurate. The best practice that I would recommend, and Tyler agrees with me on that, is to prepare draft of your documentation, send them to TWI, who is going to pass on these drafts to our office in Nuremberg for verification purposes. And our colleagues in Nuremberg will then check if any amendments or corrections need to be done, or if you are really ready to go and everything is fine. Next slide, please. Tyler mentioned the deadline. Very important to check and to look at because either the physical movement and also documentation suggestion is to have everything being controlled and checked prior to any shipping out of the US by either air freight or sea freight. I think most of it will be done by air freight. So please comply with the deadlines. And this is very important to know. Next slide, please. On this slide, you see the venue again, but I would just want to mention and highlight to you that the Schenker service office is just right in front of hall number 7, where the US Pavilion will be held. And so it's easy for you guys to check with our colleagues if anything is necessary to be discussed. On the other hand, as Tyler mentioned, TWI will be at show site, taking care of your requests, of your needs. And yeah, this is it from my side, and I will be more than happy to answer any question in the Q&A if necessary, if wanted. And so I'll give back. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our speakers, and we hope that everyone found today's webinar informative and helpful. Before we move to Q&A, one quick note is that the Interzoo and Kallman teams will be at Global Pet Expo in Orlando from March 25 to 27. If you are attending, please feel free to stop by and say hi at booth 2977. We will also be walking around the floor, so we hope to see you there. Now we will open it to Q&A. I know I answered a question previously, but if there's any other questions, now is the time to throw them in. All right, well, seems like we are pretty covered. Thank you again so much for participating in today's webinar, and we hope you found it informative. For those of you on the call who are not yet booked but interested in exploring options either in the pavilion or with the show at large, please reach out to our colleagues Mike Petrossi and Mark Alt, who are listed here. For any exhibitors with tactical questions, please feel free to reach out to Allison Voth or Erica Egan, and our TWI and Schenker contacts are here as well for you. We hope this answered some questions for you. Oh, please share what vendor will be producing graphics for the booth stands. We will be coming out with that information next week when we send out details. Another question, let's see. Oh, yep. We will be sending out a copy of the presentation. Oh, and one other thing, there is a webinar on February 10th that Interzoo is hosting, which is smart exhibiting and how to make the most of your presence at Interzoo as well. And that link is here on the screen. And some other key dates, again, Global Pet Expo and April 7th for air freight. Okay, and I do see a hand that is raised. Not sure. Mike McGee, I see that your hand is raised. Could you possibly throw your question into the chat or the Q&A?
Or Mike can come off mute. I've opened up his mic. I've opened up his mic if you'd like. While Mike's figuring that out, I just wanted to Nancy's question, please share the vendor that will be producing graphics for the stands. Nancy, any exhibitor in the U.S. Pavilion can contact Kallman, our operations team, Allison, Erica, and Sharon. We do produce graphics and anything that you need, to enhance your overall exhibit space. So feel free to reach out to us, and you have the contact details there, but we will be sending out this presentation shortly so that everyone has full point of contacts for the different areas.
Great. Anything else before we?
I think this is a question for Rowena that just came in. Regarding
can any vendor participate? Yeah, with the grooming demos.
Well, the group day is a specific conference, so there's a little fee to sign up, but depending also on your product, you could also have like another little installation there just to show your products. We have that special section. It's a meeting room where we have demonstration, coffee, lounge, and so you can sign up either as a delegate, or if you are interested in that day showing your products. In addition, there are also possibilities, or also if you, depending on what kind of products you offer, you want to be one of the sponsors, that's all possible.
Great, thank you. I see Ash Coleman has a question. Let's see if allow Mike. Ash,
you should be able to unmute yourself now.
or you can throw your question into the chat if that doesn't seem to be working.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't type in the chat for some reason, but my question is, are fish foods considered the same as pet food when it comes to freighting?
Great question. So that's for TWI or Schenker. I believe the answer is yes, but is fish food considered the same as pet food as it refers to shipments to Europe?
I'm going to go with yes. Klaus, could you please confirm?
I would also go with a yes at the moment. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Anyone else before we conclude? And again, if any other questions do arise, our team is here for you. Please do reach out with any questions, and don't be afraid to email any one of us with a question. And if it's not the right, we'll coordinate and get you the right answer. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need anything. And we look forward to seeing everyone very shortly in May in Nuremberg. Again, thank you to our speakers. Thank you to everyone who came on today. And again, let us know if you do have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.